Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Alfonso Peluso and I'm a Studio Associate Professor in the College of Architecture at IIT, where Mies van der Rohe came from the Bauhaus to make the legendary School of Architecture. And Monday is back to school, so any of you students, I hope you have a great year. I'm looking forward to another great year starting Monday. So today I'm here to look at using Rhino to make nice line drawings. Before we jump into that, just want to remind you, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe. I'm going to head over and take a look at my YouTube channel. So I have a lot of videos, not just on Rhino, not just on Grasshopper, but you'll find some videos on other software. So please subscribe. Please make sure you turn the notifications on so you don't miss any great videos or great tutorials. Also, if you'd like to see what I'm up to on a daily basis, please subscribe to me on Instagram and see what kind of architecture I'm looking at and what kind of tutorials I'm going to be making in the future. And that's my first name Alfonso underscore my last name Peluso. So Alfonso underscore Peluso. I look forward to connecting with you guys. Okay, and when I say guys, that's just my Chicago reference to everybody in general. So guys, gals, everyone. So using Rhino to make nice line drawings. What I see a lot of students do is I see them use Illustrator to adjust their line weights and line types. You can use Rhino. Okay, what is Illustrator? Illustrator is the graphic designer's vector software. So that's how graphic designers make drawings, vector-based drawings, which are scalable. That's the whole idea behind vector, is that no matter what scale you print it at, you get good line quality. So graphic designers use Illustrator. Architects, we could use Rhino. I love Rhino. So I say architects, let's use Rhino to make good line drawings or nice line drawings. So here on the left you see I'm in Rhino, I'm in the viewport, I'm not an Illustrator. I have line weights. So I have a heavy line, I have some medium lines, I have light lines in the back, I have line types, I have hidden lines. So let's look at using Rhino to do this. And we'll go ahead and start by making a 2D drawing, 11 by 17, and then we'll make this 3D drawing. We'll end with this one. So I'm just going to File, New, and I'm going to choose Small Objects, Inches. So my units are going to be inches. I can close down that Grasshopper window, and let's go to my perspective view. So I'm setting this up like a sheet of paper. If I go to DOC, I type in the shortcut DOC, enter, and I go down to Appearance under Rhino options, and I click on colors. So by default, the background color in Rhino is some sort of gray, and even worse in AutoCAD, it's black. So now you see that's gray here. So yours will look something like that. So let's go ahead and set that background color. We're going to set it to white. And we're going to go over to grid, and we're going to turn off the grid line. So as I uncheck these things, watch the window over here on the left. So when I uncheck show grid lines, the grid lines disappear. When I uncheck show grid axes, now I can't really, yeah, I can move this around. Here we go. Alright, so show grid axes. You see the red X axes, the red X axes, and the Y, the green Y axes. You see those disappearing. And in the lower left, there's the XYZ world axis icon. I'm just gonna turn that off. Okay. I'm gonna click OK. All right. So I'm gonna first thing. So it's a sheet of paper. It's a blank sheet of paper, just like if you were manually drafting with some 2B or 4H pencils. Okay, so I'm going to set up my sheet. So I'm going to make a layer for my sheet that is current, and I'm going to draw, and I'm just going to save this while I'm at it. I'll be saving this a lot. Been having some trouble with my video card, so when I'm screen recording, it's been crashing, so I might have to move to a different software, but that's another subject. So let's look at the top viewport, and I'm going to go ahead and draw a rectangle from 0, 0, 0 to, I'm going to make this 17 by 11. Okay, so 17 comma 11. So there is my sheet size. Okay, so I'm going to draw some heavy lines. So I'm going to make layer 2 current, and I'm going to change the name of that layer to heavy. And I'm just going to draw a rectangle. Okay, so there's my rectangle. I'm just going to turn off my snaps there. There's my rectangle. It's purple. So one of these conventions that architects have been using is look at purple and translate in your mind that that is heavy lines, and look at red and translate in your mind that those are thin lines. I don't know why we've been doing it. Actually, I know why, and I'll blame AutoCAD, and I'm going to make a tutorial about that in the future, but I'll blame AutoCAD for setting architects back 25 years, and we'll talk about that in another video. But so let's make that line look heavy. Let's make it look like when we print it, it's going to be black lines on white paper. So let's go ahead and change the print color. None of this is going to update right now. I'm going to have to type a command in Rhino, but I'm changing the print color to black, and I'm going to change the line weight. I'm going to change it so we have all these line weights. If you're new to thinking and looking at line weights, I'm going to change this to 1, which is actually 1 millimeter. So if you're in the United States like I am, 1 millimeter doesn't mean very much to you. But that's just what we got to go with right now. So, and you see it's a heavier line than these other lines as I scroll up and down here. So okay, so that is updating in this case. The reason that that's updating, if I type in the command print display, okay, there's print display, and I am gonna set print display. We're gonna change that to be on. Okay, and that's what you'll need to do to see your line weights. Let's see if this is updating now. I'm going to change this to a thinner line. Okay, so that is working. That's what you want. So I went a little fast there, so I'm going to type the command in again. Print display. Okay, state should be on. We'll get to the thickness in a moment. Just remember, when you click on state on, by default that says state equal off. When you click on state equal off, you also need to change it on. Okay, you need to click on. Make sure that that's working. We'll come back to thickness. Okay, so let me just make sure that that is working. I want that to be 1. Okay, what I see is what I get. That's what's going to happen when I print it. I'm seeing it live in the viewport. So that's one of our goals here. Okay, so that's my heavy line. Okay, I'm going to make a medium line now. Okay, I'm going to call this layer medium. I'm going to make this layer current before I draw it, so then I don't have any issues with why is that line heavy and not medium, because it's not on the medium layer. I run into that myself, so I'm going to make the medium layer current. We're going to set its print color to black, and we're going to set the line width, I'm going to set that to 0.5, so about half as thick as the heavy line, so 0.5 millimeters. Okay, I'm going to draw a circle. Okay, that's going to be my circle. I'm going to move that over here, and I want that circle to fall behind the rectangle, and we'll get there. Right now that's medium. I'm just going to get in here and double check that that's working, so I'm going to change it to a really heavy line and see what happens. Okay, so that's working the way that I want it to. I'm going to make my medium, or I'm going to put it back to 0.5. Okay, next is my light. Okay, so I'm going to make this layer light. Okay, so what you're looking for when you're making good drawings, if possible, 5 line weights would be really nice. A minimum of 3, but if you're really trying to make a great drawing, maybe you're using 5 line weights. Okay, we're looking at just 3 right now. So this is going to be my light line. Now, the difference between hairline and the first setting, the thinnest setting in millimeters, I haven't seen much difference on the screen, but just keep in mind that you can type in values here. You don't have to use the defaults. Okay, so I can do that, or I could choose hairline. Okay, let's while I'm at it, I always get myself into trouble when I just go off the cuff here, but why not? So let's go ahead and put in 0.009. Let's go for it. Okay, so we put in our own setting there, and you see that, so it's not one of the defaults. Okay, now that light layer is current. I'm going to go ahead and draw a polygon. Okay, and I want that polygon to be behind the circle. Okay, so here we go. So we have heavy, medium, and light. Let's move these over here. Okay, now let's look at line types, because if I want this circle to be behind the rectangle, I need a hidden line. If I want this hexagon to be behind the circle, I need a hidden line. So let's make some other layers. So here's my medium. I want to make a medium hidden layer. So I'm just right clicking and I'm choosing new layer. I'm going to type in medium hidden. Okay, I'm going to make it current. Now the line type is not going to be continuous. I'm going to set that line type to be hidden. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to match the medium line type. So I'm going to match that at 0.5. Okay, there we go. We have the layer medium hidden. It's a hidden line type, and its line width is 0.5. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to trim. Okay, this is going to be my cutting object, and then this is what I'm not going to trim. Some of you might have caught that ahead of time. I want to keep that line, so I'm going to split it. Okay, that's the object I'm going to split, and this is what I'm going to use to split it with. Now I have a line. In that case, it's a curve. It's always curves in Rhino, right? They're always curves, but I'm going to set that to the layer medium hidden just by right-clicking on that layer medium hidden, and there you go. We have a hidden line type in Rhino, in the Rhino viewport, without printing it. That's what we're looking for. So let's do this one more time. We're going to make a light hidden layer. Okay, we'll call this light hidden. Make that current, make its line type hidden, and we're going to make that this print width, which was our custom one that we went for. So far it's working. Again, you can use values that work best for you guys. Okay, so we'll go ahead and split. We're going to split this guy. Okay, there we have that. We're going to put that on the light hidden layer. Okay, amazing. What you see is what you get. So we can adjust the scale of our line type. There is a command called set line type scale. Okay, by default it's set to 1. If I start increasing these, so 2, you see the dash lines, not so much dash, not as small, they're getting larger. If I do that again and set it to 3, okay, so you have that option. Okay, let's look at printing this. Okay, I know I have the border, the sheet border right now. I'll show you how you can turn that off in a little bit, but let's look at printing this. Okay, so I'm going to use the shortcut Control P. You can go up to File, Print, and let's walk through these. Okay, so 11 by 17. I set up my sheet size. Okay, so let's first start with destination. Okay, PDF is the output of choice, and that's great. The size, okay? Size, we set this up to 11 by 17. We're using landscape, okay? We're going to be using vector output. Print a file, I think it automatically prints the file. We'll see in a second. I'll just leave that. But we're using vector versus raster, okay, because we're making line drawings. There's no shade or shadow, so it's pure vector. Let's go down to view and output scale. Okay, so I'm going to select a window. Okay, and this is where you want to click and hold. Okay, you want to click and hold to match those points. Sometimes I just click. So you're going to click and hold, okay, to define the window, and then you can press enter. Okay, I know my O snap's not on. Some of you, those of you who've caught that, I applaud you. My O snap's not on. Again, I'm having trouble with O snap and my video card crashing while I'm creating these videos in Rhino. So your O snap will be on. You'll snap directly to it. Okay, so one thing that I see people do is they'll print a fit, and print a fit is not, it's not really a scale, right? Print a fit is okay if you need to print a fit, great, but just keep in mind when you're making scale drawings, excuse me, as architects do, you typically will pick a scale. In this case, it's 1:1. Okay, so 1:1. And then under line types and width, let's see what we have there. Match viewport display. That's the default for me today. You might need to check yours. So match viewport display. I think that's all we really need. I'm getting a preview of that right here. That's looking pretty good. Okay, so I'm gonna go for it. Let's see what happens. Let's print this PDF and see what we get here. Okay, let's take a look at it. Oh, there we go. Looks pretty good. How can I get rid of that sheet border, that red line there? Let's take a look at that. Let's go back over to Rhino here. That's on my sheet layer. I can go over here under print width, and I can scroll all the way down to the bottom, and I can say no print. Okay, that has disappeared. I'm going to do Control P once more, and all the settings have stayed, so I'm just going to click print, overwrite that. Okay, there it is. What you see is what you get. There's no Illustrator. I have line weights. I have line types. Okay. Needs some adjustment, I would say, between the heavy. The medium is a little bit close to, if I'm going to critique it, the medium's too close to the light. Okay, now I promised that I would look at another setting there. If I type in print display, type in the command print display, I do have a thickness setting. So 40 was the default. So I like to swing the pendulum pretty drastically. So 0, that's not what I want. I want to go in the other direction. 60, starting to see more difference between those. So you can fine tune it there. So you can fine tune it with the thickness and the command line, and you can also fine tune it with the print width. Okay, let's leave it there. That's 2D. Let's make what I showed you in the beginning, that first screen that popped up that maybe enticed you to watch this video. Let's look at doing this 3-dimensionally. Okay. All right, so let's make a 3-dimensional object. So I'm gonna hide these for the moment, and I'm gonna start on the light layer. I'm gonna make the light layer current, so I know that's a starting point. My lines are gonna be light, and then I can make them medium or heavy. I'm gonna go ahead and draw a box. Okay, so there we have a box. And I'm gonna subtract from this box. I'm gonna subtract from this box with I'm gonna go ahead and make a sphere. Okay, hard to see where that sphere, there it is. I went to the top view, kind of move it here, and let's look at it in a front view and see what that looks like. All right, so we're gonna that's pretty good. All right, so let's do a Boolean difference. So we're gonna subtract from the box. with the sphere. Okay, did that work? No, let's try it again. All right, so Boolean difference, subtract from the box, enter, subtract with. Let's say delete input yes. Okay, there we go. So this is the thing. You know, you're looking at this in Rhino and you're seeing all these lines and you're thinking, well, how can I make a good line drawing with all this going on? Okay, so let's look at doing this. There's two ways I'm going to go about this. Okay, first way, quick and easy way. Not the best, quick and easy way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select, first thing I'm going to do is select the object. I'm going to go over to my properties and I am going to turn the ISO curves off. So I'm going to uncheck that. Okay, looking much better. So all I did was, you don't see it now in the properties, but when I select it, you see I've just unchecked show surface ISO curve. So they're gone. So this is looking a little bit better right now. Okay, so let's say I want to make the chunk that, or the lines where the sphere subtracted, let's say I want those to be heavy. Okay, first thing I got to do is I need to extract those lines. So I'm going to use a command called dupe edge. Okay, duplicate edge, and I'm going to pick those edges that I want to duplicate. In this case, those 3 edges. And I'm going to put those on the heavy layer. They're still selected right now. I'm going to go ahead and right click over the heavy layer and say change object layer. Okay, so we're getting there. We have some heavy lines. Now, right now, this is a wireframe. So how do I make this to be a solid drawing, not a wireframe drawing? So I'm going to go to perspective and I'm going to change this to pen. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for when I go to print. But something happens. When I go to Control P for print, you see that it's still a wireframe. Okay, so we're going to look at 2 ways to do this. The first way is by changing this to be an image. Okay, so that solves my problem quickly in this case. I'm going to want to show some hidden lines with line type, so I'm going to go about it a second way. So this is the first way we're doing this. In this case, if it's 11 by 17, let's say that I'm going to do this at 200 pixels per inch, okay, 200 ppi. So 11 by 17, but my width is 17. So the way you figure out ppi, 200 ppi, you take the width, which is 17, times 200. It's that easy. So 3400 for the width. The height is 11 at 200 ppi. I take 11 times 200. It's 2200. Okay, so there's my 11 by 17 sheet of paper. Okay, I could increase the resolution. Okay, because now I've made a raster file. That's the issue. Okay, I know the difference between vector and raster, and right now this is making a raster file. So some of you, congratulations if you're going, oh, you said vector and now you're making raster. Okay, I'm aware of it. I'll show you a couple ways to do this. I'll show you the way to make the vector drawing in a second. But here's the raster version. Okay, so I don't think I need to do anything else there. I'm going to click print. And you can always go higher resolution as long as you're keeping the same proportions. Excuse me. All right, so let's print that. Let's put that in the right folder so that I know where it's at. Just wanted to get what you see is what you get out there. Okay, so what you see is what you get JPEG. And let's take a look at that. Okay. I see something's happening at the bottom. I don't know if I changed that, but we'll take a look at it. And when you zoom in, the resolution's not too bad. Again, I could always increase it, but this is raster, not vector. So let's keep going with that. Okay, one of the issues we might be having when we're printing is we have some duplicate lines here as well. We have the new curves that we've made, And we also have the polysurface lines. So we're going to deal with that in a second as we look at the second way to do this. All right, so let's look at this. Let's go ahead and what I want to do is I want to see all my lines. So I'm going to set this back to wireframe. And let's make a nice 3D drawing with line weights and line types. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here. I'm going to turn the heavy layer off for a second. Okay. All right, so here is my object. That's all I have. If I do a selection here, it's one object. That's all I have is one object there. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to explode it. Okay, I'm going to not expose, I'm going to explode it. Okay, now I have exploded this into 7 poly surfaces. Okay, so I'm still looking at surfaces. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to explode it once more so I can get it down to the lines. So I'm going to go ahead and select it and I'm going to explode it. Okay. So what is it telling me? It's telling me I can't explode it. Okay? So have no fear. It's Rhino. There's always another way to do it. So here's how we're going to do it. We're going to use the command dupe, not dupe edge. We're going to use dupe face border. Okay, dupe face border. And we're going to select everything and hit enter. And now we have the individual lines. Lines are curves in Rhino. We have the individual lines. Okay, so I have individual lines, but I also have individual surfaces. So I'm getting this down to a pure line drawing. So I want to delete all the surfaces. So I type in SEL in Rhino, and I love Rhino selection filters, SEL. So I typed in SEL. I want to select the surfaces. So SEL, I'm going to continue to type in S. So select surfaces. So now it's selecting all my surfaces. I can delete those. Now I'm down to lines. But the problem is I have a lot of duplicate lines because I have an edge from what used to be this surface and an edge from what used to be that surface in the same place. So I have 2 lines in the same place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use SEL again, and this time dupe SEL dupe all. Selects all my duplicates. Okay. Let's see. Did that get rid of it? These are still polylines. Okay, so let's explode this one more time. Okay, now we're down to the lines. Okay, and at each place, again, same thing, each edge has 2 lines or 2 curves there. So let's do our SEL dupe, which is duplicate, SEL dupe all. Okay, now it's found them. And we're going to hit enter. Okay, actually not enter. Don't hit enter. hit delete when you do this. So SEL dupe all, and then go ahead and press delete. Did I get rid of them already? Let's see what we got. No, I still have them there. SEL dupe. There we go. Okay, so I think the way that worked was it wasn't dupe all. Okay, and you guys can test this out. Also, it was SEL dupe instead of SEL dupe all. Okay, now I have no duplicates, and that's a great one for when you're laser cutting, right? You don't want your laser cutter to cut what you're laser cutting twice, or CNC or whatever. And even when you're printing, you don't want that to happen twice. Okay, let's wrap this up. All right, so I already have these, right? I already have those. Go ahead, delete. Let's select this. Let's select that. Let's select that. All right, now I'm going to type in show. Actually, I just turned off heavy. Okay, there we go. So I don't want duplicate lines. Okay, so that's heavy. Let's make these lines, we're going to make those dashed, or hidden rather. So I'm changing those to the hidden layer. There we go. I want to make these medium. It's just my strategy right now. You'll see in a second. So I'll make those medium. Okay, the other stayed light, which was the default. That's a nice looking drawing. I like that drawing. And I didn't have to leave Rhino. I'm in Rhino. And now I can make this a vector drawing versus what was a raster drawing just a few seconds ago. So let's keep it vector. So I'm going to go ahead and print this using a PDF. PDF keeps it vector. Okay, it remembers my settings from last time. It looks great in the window here. And let's go ahead and print that out. This will be another file. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at this. Look at that resolution. That's why you want vector drawings. Right? This is just high quality. Okay. Well, is there anything else I need to cover in regards to that? I think that's pretty much it. Line types and line weights in Rhino. What you see is what you get. So how to make nice line drawings in Rhino. Okay. If you liked this video, please click on the like button. Give me a thumbs up. Leave some comments. Let me know what you like, what you didn't like, what questions you have. A better way to do things. I love that. People have told me better ways to do things, and I love that, and I pass it down to my students. Dupe face border was another one not too long ago that someone showed me. So thanks. Thanks for viewing this. I will see you next time.